Sexual maturity in human beings. Reproduction in human beings is sexual type and involves two organisms, one male and one female. Sexual reproduction means the fusion of male and female gametes. So, the male and females should be able to produce reproductive cells or germ cells for the process of reproduction. But just the production of male and female cells is not enough to complete the process of reproduction. Some bodily changes should happen in the bodies of males and females. These changes facilitate the process of reproduction. When do boys and girls start producing germ cells or gametes? At what age the bodily changes in boys and girls begins to happen? How these bodily changes helps in the process of reproduction? Let us see in detail. Boys and girls are born with some special tissues that can produce germ cells. But this tissue is not matured until they reach some age. During childhood, the resources like the food are mostly used by the body for general growth. That is why there is a rapid growth in children between the age of 2 to 12 years. After some years, the general body growth begins to slow down and the reproductive tissues begin to mature. This period during adolescence is called puberty. What are the signs that indicate that the bodies of male and female are ready for reproduction? Growth of new hair in the armpits, genital area, and on hands and legs. Growth of facial hair and change of voice in boys. The enlargement and erection of penis in boys during daydreams or at night sleep. Beginning of menstruation or periods in girls. The breasts grow bigger and hips become wider in girls. These changes in the bodies of males and females indicate that they are ready or getting ready for the process of reproduction. The period in which these changes happen in the bodies of boys and girls is called puberty. At what age do boys and girls enter puberty? There is no specific age, but they enter into puberty in adolescence. Adolescence is the stage between childhood and adulthood. How do we know that puberty has started in someone? We can notice the onset of puberty in boys and girls with some noticeable changes happening in their bodies. Some changes are common in both boys and girls, like thick hair growing in new parts of the body, such as armpits and the genital area between the thighs. The skin in this region can also become darker in color. Thinner hair can also appear on legs and arms. The skin frequently becomes oily and they might begin to develop pimples. There are certain changes observed only in boys, like growth of hair on the face and voice begins to crack. The penis occasionally begins to become enlarged and erect, either in daydreams or at night. The changes observed only in girls are breast size begins to increase with darkening of the skin of the nipples at the tip of the breasts. They begin to menstruate. All of these changes take place slowly over a period of months and years. For example, boys may develop a thin mustache or a patchy beard in the beginning of puberty, but slowly in 2 to 3 years of time, they may grow a thick mustache and complete beard. In the same way, girls may develop small breasts in the beginning of puberty, but in the time a few months to years, they may develop fully grown breasts. In some people, these changes happen early and quickly, while in others, they can happen very slowly. But even after attaining sexual maturity, all boys may not develop a thick mustache or beard. All girls may not get a bigger breast. Boys and girls need not worry about their beard, mustache, or breast size. It all depends upon the individual hormone levels and genetics. All the adolescents should realize one thing, that differences are common. As people are different in general body features like height, weight, skin color, etc., people also will have differences in secondary sexual characteristics like body hair growth, growth of beard and mustache, penis size, breast size, etc. These changes are just the signals that show the sexual maturity of the individual. How these changes helps in the process of reproduction. The changes in the puberty helps in the process of reproduction and childbirth. For example, certain changes like growth of new hair on the body parts, growth of mustache and beard in boys, enlargement of breasts in girls are the signs of their sexual maturity. Do you know how the enlargement and erection of penis in boys helps in the process of reproduction? In human reproduction, the males deposit the male germ cells in the female reproductive system. Penis is the male organ that helps in the deposition of male cells in the female reproductive system. Penis has to become enlarged and erect to facilitate the deposition of male cells into the female reproductive system. Then how menstruation in girls is related to reproduction? After fertilization, the development of embryos to babies takes place in the uterus of female reproductive system. So, for this purpose, the uterus has to be made ready. The walls of the uterus get lined by blood vessels and new tissues to accommodate the growing embryo. If fertilization takes place, the zygote develops into a baby utilizing the preparations made in the uterus. But if the fertilization do not happens, the temporary blood lining of uterus sheds and expels out through vagina. This is how the menstruation helps in the process of reproduction. How the growth of breasts related to reproduction. In mammals, reproduction does not end by just giving birth to babies. After the birth, the babies has to be fed by the mother's milk for some time. Female breasts have mammary glands that produce milk to feed the babies. So, that is why breasts grow in size in girls during puberty. This is all about the sexual maturity in boys and girls.
Reproductive health. The major consequences involved in participating in a sexual act are health consequences. Do you know, during sexual intercourse, there is a very intimate contact between the male and female bodies. There may be a chance of transfer of germs and infections between the partners. It may cause diseases. What kind of diseases are spread by sexual contact? The diseases that are spread through sexual contact are called sexually transmitted diseases. In short form, they are called STDs. Here are a few examples of STDs. Gonorrhea and syphilis. These two diseases are caused by bacteria. Warts and HIV or AIDS. These two are caused by virus. Then how to stop pregnancy? We can avoid pregnancy by using contraceptive methods. 1. Mechanical barriers. Example, condoms. By using male or female condoms, one can avoid pregnancy. Condoms act as a barrier and prevent the entry of sperms into the female reproductive system. 2. Chemical contraceptives. Example, oral pills. These pills change the hormonal balance of the woman and stop the release of egg and fertilization. But changing hormonal balance leads to so many side effects. 3. Contraceptive devices. Example, copper T or loop. The loop or the copper T are placed in the uterus to prevent pregnancy. They can cause irritation and leads to various side effects. 4. Surgical methods of contraception. Examples, vasectomy or tubectomy. Vasectomy. If the vas deferens in the male is blocked by a small surgery, sperm transfer will be prevented. This method is called vasectomy. Tubectomy. If the fallopian tubule in the female is blocked by small surgery, the egg will not be able to reach the uterus. Surgical methods are permanent. They are safe in long run and followed by families who doesn't want pregnancy. What happens if contraceptives are failed and unwanted pregnancy happens? Medical termination of pregnancy. Pregnancy can be removed by medical surgery, but it will be done only under some special circumstances. Abortion or medical termination of pregnancy is illegal if it is done by someone's choice. It is misused in our country. Many families have reluctant to girl child. It is leading to illegal sex-selective abortion of female fetuses. For this reason, prenatal sex determination has been prohibited by the law.